Hi everyone, welcome to this evening's Q&A session. My name is Leke Shuade. I am the program lead for the F100 Growth Fund, and hopefully you're in the right room. That's why you're here to find out exactly a bit more about what the program is about.
Yeah.
Just going through the agenda for today. Essentially, this is very informal. We just want to make sure people have all the information they need to apply for the program. And the first few minutes will be myself just giving an overview of what the program is about. Throughout the session, you can ask questions. And to do that, just because there's a lot of people in the room, we're going to be utilizing the Q&A part of Zoom. Simply click on the three dots at the bottom right hand of your screen, and you then click on Q&A to raise a question, and I'll be picking that up as we go along. And I've got some of my colleagues here as well to help. After I've gone through what the program is about, an overview of the program, we'll have a Q&A session, which will be with some of our alumni who are here today. And actually just a chance just to find a bit more about their experience with the program and the impact that the program has had on their business. And after that, we will be opening it up for more Q&A. If you're comfortable, you can raise up your hand and speak up and we'll ask your question. If not, you could just ask the question in the Q&A and we'll pick you up that way. I anticipate that we will run a bit over. So roughly, we're thinking we might go on to about 6:40 p.m. because we do have a lot of people on this call. But if you do need to drop off at 6:30, please feel free to drop off. Great. I'll kick us off then. Welcome again. Essentially, what is the F100 Growth Fund? The F100 Growth Fund is a partnership between Sky and Black Equity Organization. And the purpose of the program is to equip Black businesses across the UK with the skill they need to be able to scale their business. And there's various ways that we do that. And I'll go through that a little bit more in the next slide. But essentially, it's a 10-week program that run between June and September this year with an in-person induction event and finishes with a demo day. And again, I'll talk about that a bit more in a sec. We do understand that most people, whilst working on a business, are actually working full-time. So we ensure that our sessions are hosted in the evening as well. So plenty, and it's a hybrid module. So we have in-person session and an online session as well. The other thing that I need to cover quickly, and I'm sure people have questions, but if you do have questions around the eligibility criteria of the program, all that information is already on the website. But one thing I want to point out is the age criteria. There is no upper limit, but you need to be at least 18. In terms of the business that you're building, it needs to have an existing MVP, and there needs to be a way for you to show that this business has real customers. So we've asked that you're generating at least minimum 5K in revenue, or you've got customers that have signed some sort of like letter of intent to use your product, and you've raised some sort of funding. This could be as minimum as 1K. The rationale around this is the program is best helpful for businesses that have got a product or service already, not at an idea stage. So we need that business to be viable, and we want to make sure that you're in a position to scale, and we can help you to scale. The other thing to mention, which I'm sure will be attractive to a lot of people in this room as well, as part of the program as well, we also give away up to 15K equity-free funding to funders on the program. By being part of the program, it's not a guarantee that you will get that. But as our alumni could testify, most people do get the funding as long as you are committed to the program and you're able to showcase that this business is ready for scale as well. But I'm happy to answer more questions on that later on. That is the overview of the program. And then I guess the question in your mind next is actually, what should I expect from the program and why should I sign up? There are a lot of accelerator programs out there. And one of our key things is to make sure this is as helpful as possible. So we've tried to make it succinct in delivering information that you need. So it's a 10-week program, and it's structured in a way that I guess the key things around this is you're getting an hybrid module. So there are online workshops that happen in the evening around 6 p.m. We're covering different topics that would be needed around scaling your business. So there'll be modules around marketing, around sales, around how to access different supplier and navigate that place. There'll be a section on governance as well. There will be another session. We understand that being a Black founder can be quite stressful, and actually we actually emphasize founder well-being as well. One of the key things I'm really proud about on this program is around our way of viewing mentorship. So one thing that we do is we look at the stage of your business and actually we pair you up with a mentor that is experienced in your area of business, and they would have a conversation with you every 2 weeks leading up to the demo day. Community is a big part of us. For us, we understand that no one can grow their business in isolation. So BU has a massive network around the ecosystem that includes investors, different corporate suppliers that we'll try and introduce you to. But we also like to have fun. And as some of the founders will testify on the program, we have a chance for you to sing. For those of you that enjoy karaoke, we go out for dinners together as well. So it's a chance for you to connect with the founders in the program and actually really build, hopefully, a relationship that lasts beyond the program as well. As mentioned before, a key part of this program, we understand one of the barriers to scaling your business is actually access to funding. So we double down on that. The program climax with a demo day at the Sky HQ. And essentially what will you be able to do is pitch to our panel on that day to get your 15K, hopefully up to your 15K funding and grant. But in addition to that as well, there'll be different investors, especially angels that you could connect with in the room, that you could be able to speak to about your business. There's also opportunity to meet with potential suppliers for those of you selling physical products, because we understand one of the barriers to scaling businesses is around actually access to suppliers as well. And lastly, we want to continue supporting you as well. So there is always different opportunities that we share with our founders post the program as well. That's a lot of information for myself, but those are the reasons why I think you should sign up for the program. But what we're going to do next is actually we're just going to have a real conversation with some of our alumni. So I'm going to introduce the virtual stage three of our amazing alumni. So first of all is Alison, who is the co-founder of Match Music. We've also got Samson, the CEO and co-founder of Applatch, and Naya, the founder of Tribe. So if you guys could give a virtual welcome as they enter the virtual stage, and then I'll kick off with some questions to our alumni panel. Please keep asking your questions in the Q&A, and I will try and pick them up as I moderate the panel as well. Just to try and kick things off, it would be great to start off with a bit of introduction. So I'll start with Alison. If you just introduce yourself and just tell us a bit about your business, please.
Sure. Hi, everyone, and welcome to hopefully the program. My name's Alison Burton. I'm the co-founder of March Music. March Music is a brand that launched in 2019, and we have a range of Black Christmas decorations. So Black angels, Black Santas, nativity sets, and much more, because we identified a gap in the market back then and decided that we wanted to bring some products to bring some diversity, some inclusion, and just ruffle some feathers at Christmas time. And so now we have a full range, and you can find us online and on the high street.
Thank you, Alison. Amazing products as well that Alison and our partner have built. Samson, should we kick off with the same question? A bit about yourself and what you're building.
Hi, everyone. I'm Samson, and I'm the founder of Applatch. We've got a product called Applatch Kids. It's an app that's available on App Store, Play Store, Amazon Store. Basically, it's an app that helps children to improve in their educational performance by curbing entertainment distractions. So parents simply install it on their children's tablet or smartphone, and all entertainment apps will be locked. But children can unlock these apps themselves. They only have to do one thing first. They have to solve adaptive educational quizzes, maths, English, science. When they get a pass score, all the locked apps will then unlock, but for only 15 to 60 minutes, depending on the parent's preference. So this is just to ensure that millions of children can now learn first before they can play online. Thank you.
Thank you, Samson. I've just had a little one, so that's something I'm actually actively thinking about. And I'm sure most people have seen the Netflix series Adolescence as well. So social media is probably things people are thinking about. How do they manage that as well? Naya, do you want to introduce yourself and your business as well?
Hi, good afternoon or good evening, everybody. My name is Naya, and I'm the founder of Tribe. Tribe is a parenting app that is designed to crush the mental load that parents carry when raising their children. I have my daughter in the background now because it's half term, so she may interrupt. So yeah, that's basically me. I've been working on it for about 4 years, and I'm really, really enthused with helping parents, especially mothers, carve out time for themselves and still be able to be career women, follow their own dreams, but also manage their children effectively.
Thank you. And as you probably could see, like there's a range of different kind of businesses that apply for the program, all building in different spaces as well. So we're not biased to what kind of business you're building. We just want to know that you're solving for a real customer. I've got a few questions. I'm going to answer those real quickly, and then we'll come back to the panel session, if that's okay with our panelists. The first question is by Nigel, and it's a really good question around. Is asked, is the process complicated? With one having to meet a strict criteria because the program is inundated with applicants? That's a really good question. And the simple answer is we have a 2-stage application process, right? So you fill in an application online. Hopefully, my team will share the link to fill the application. Essentially, you answer some questions about your business. We're just trying to understand what your business is, what problem are you solving for, and are there real customers interested in what you're building? We also ask you to produce a deck. That might be new to some people, but essentially we want an 8-page simple document that kind of just tell the story of your business. The reason we've asked for this is because this is for business at a particular stage, and actually we're trying to get you ready to be able to go out there and get some extra funding in addition to F100 funding as well. We also asked for a quick video. Again, this is like a 1 minute 30-second video. Actually, it's our chance for us to understand you as a person and get to see you and how you come across away from the application, because we know some people do well with written applications. Some people might do better just speaking about their business. That's essentially it. And then we interview, not everyone, because we have a small team and we can't interview everyone. People that meet our criteria and we feel like they're building something strong. The interview process is really, I think, is quite straightforward. It's a 20 minutes interview. We 2 members, one a member of the BEO team and one an external member. That could be an investor or someone that works in what we call the VC investment and tech ecosystem. Again, they're not trying to catch you out. They're just trying to understand your business. And actually, it's a 2-way interview, I always say. It's a chance for us to find out whether the business is a good fit for us. And actually, it's a chance for you to find out whether the program is a good fit for you as well. After that, and then we make a decision on people that we want to go on the program. I hope that answered your question. And then the next question is by Amza. Apologies if I'm not pronouncing the names correctly. Please forgive me. But the question is, even if the product is currently a freebie or in beta testing stage for a global product, sadly, I would have to say if it is a freebie, we need you to prove in the application process that there is a route to business, and we have a bias towards business that's actually generating revenue. So you have to have a strong case that this can generate revenue as part of your application process. Quickly, I'm going to take 2 more and then we'll go back to the panel. Sharisha has asked, our mentors match with each participant? Really good question. This is something that I'm really into, right? Because my background is actually mentorship. So we asked our mentors a few questions around what their skill sets are, what area can they best support. And as part of the application process as well, we asked you a question around actually what do you think you get from the program. So we then use that information to try and match you to a mentor as well. Okay, great. I'm going to take one question from Dora and then I'll come back again, which is, what does MVP mean? Just minimum viable product. The whole idea is this is not, and we know businesses are at different stages, but this is not for business at the idea stage. So for example, you have a thesis that people are likely, similar to Alison, right, to buy Black focused products. We want you to move from the idea, and we actually want you to have created that product already. It doesn't have to be the final version of that product. It needs to be a product that kind of will look like the final product. That's what a minimum viable product means. I'm going to pause the Q&A there, and I'm going to go back to the panel. But in the meantime, if some of the questions as well, some of my team might be able to answer that in the chat as well, if that's okay. Now we'll come back to that, because I do want to give our panel a chance to speak a little bit more. And thank you guys for asking so many questions. It shows that you guys are engaged and you really care about what we're this program really. Coming back to the panel session, again, I'll jump in actually with Naya with this one. I guess, you took part in the program, and my question to you and to everyone else, I guess starting with you, is what would you say was that one pivotal moment during the program that shifted how you approach building your business?
I know exactly what it is because I'm still doing it today. But I think for me, one of the things that really changed my mindset was the OKRs. The session on OKRs really, really shifted my mindset in how I looked at my whole business. And I realized that, I was goal setting, but I wasn't understanding how to break it down and really walk towards the goals. And no one had ever explained it to me like that. So having the OKRs as something that was measurable along the route really kept me in check and really kept my entire team in check as well. And it allowed me to then, when managing my team, manage more responsibly and just be able to understand and set better targets rather than, setting a massive, massive big goal and not really working out how to walk towards that. So I think the OKRs were definitely the pivotal moment for me.
And thank you. And for those maybe I'm not familiar with the acronym, what is OKR? Like a quick breakdown of what they are.
Like the key objectives. So it's how do I even explain it now, even though I fully understand it? It's like normally when I'm setting goals for my company, I'll set like my yearly goals. And then that's basically it. And then I kind of like was just running towards them. Whereas what it does is it really breaks it down into milestones as to what each goal needs to make the goal actually happen. So it goes into tangible tasks. It's quite a lot to explain in a sentence. But yeah, definitely worth a Google, I think, if you don't understand it already.
Thank you. Now you did a great job explaining, and I think that's a really important session actually. So that session was introduced to us by a accelerator manager at Google, and she actually delivered that session. And that's the way Google actually work as a company. They set OKRs. So the reason we believe that's important is we don't just want people to go through an accelerator program. We want to make sure that we're getting you from A to B, and that's implementing the program. And you actually have discussions with your mentors every 2 weeks around those as well. And that's something that is measured throughout the program. So you could say, actually, we know your time is valuable as a business. After 10 weeks of the program, here's my goal, and now yes, how close or how far I am away from that. So it's a really tangible thing. Thank you for sharing that, Naya. And Samson, same question. What was the pivotal or moment for you in the program, and how has that shifted your approach in building your business?
It's actually reviewing our pricing and how I see pricing basically for platforms, especially B2C SaaS products. So it was a session that we had with our mentor, and this also one thing I really want to say, like our mentor also on point. The session is usually very hands-on, it's one-to-one, but it's supposed to be just 1 hour. But because it's always very interesting, we end up doing like 3 hours. And on that call, it was like, why are you charging £2 a month? I mean, it's just ridiculous. He said that we should charge like maybe £8 or £10. But I was like, okay, because we're just starting and it's a new category, we just don't want to, we want to see if people will actually even pay for it, and so we decided that. So I told him that what we'll do is we would double the pricing, so make it £4 instead, so £4 a month, and see how it goes. And guess what? We were getting the exact conversion rate we were getting when we were charging £2. When we increased to £4, it was just still same conversion rate in terms of first tap open to sign up and to payment. So it just made me understand that you can just charge what you want to charge and focus on the audience that can actually afford it. So if you have a product, don't make it free and say, oh, you don't want to charge a certain amount and just focus on the audience that can, so I get to see things differently, and it's really helped.
Thank you for sharing that, Samson. I think two things I pick up from that actually is the value of that mentorship. So I think I've mentioned, like, how we think about, pairing you up with a mentor. One thing we ask from our mentors was to meet up with the founder they've been paired with once every 2 weeks. But like Samson kind of like said, most of our mentors actually meet up with people regularly more than that as well, which is great. And actually some of people have kept that conversation going beyond the program. And actually the second thing that I brought around there is, the practicality of the program. I think sometimes programs can be fluffy, but as you can see, this is more around actually, let's dig into your business. Let's help you try and build this business to where it needs to be. And like, let's ask you that difficult question. Most people in the room, when you're a founder, you tend to be in the weeds of your business. So actually it's really helpful when someone asks you a different question and help you see it differently. Again, lastly, and then we'll come back to some Q&As. Alison, same questions for you, please.
Yeah, so for me, I mean, I completely agree with Naya and Samson. I would have said either the OKRs or the mentors, but to not repeat that again, I think another additional thing that was really valuable was the session on pitching, because sometimes you think that everyone just instinctively knows what your business is. But when you're pitching for money or for interest in your business, you need to think about the key things that are going to make you stand out, how that flows, as well, how you present it, and also sticking with time. Because, you know, when we talk about our businesses, we're very passionate, we get very excited. But it was a really, really good session, not only to understand more about how to talk about your business, but to receive feedback, because it was also a feedback session as well from everyone in the room, not just the facilitator. And so that was really good practice for pitching. So if anyone who's scared of doing a pitch or putting a pitch deck together, the two of them marry together really, really well, because your pitch deck is what will drive your pitch when you're actually doing it face to face or in narrative.
Thank you. No, that's a really good point, actually. And it's one thing that I think for most founders, actually, is quite a scary thing to do, to stand up in front of a room and speak about your business. But like Alison kind of mentioned, we try to prep you for that. So we have a day around pitching, and we have different facilitators that were experts around that kind of like break down what you need to cover in your pitch deck, even though you've got a pitch deck that you from the beginning of the program already. And then we also look at how are you telling your story. So there's actually a storytelling session as well as part of the program. Thank you for sharing that. I don't know if I'm allowed to answer the question, but I'll actually answer the question as well in terms of like one of the things that I think is really valuable in the program as well that hasn't been mentioned around well-being. I think I mentioned at the beginning as well. So we have a session around well-being, which is a chance for the founders to reflect around, I guess, just step away from being a business and think about them in the capacity of a human. Are you okay? Are you creating time for yourself? I think that's really valuable as well. I'm going to pause there and try and take some of the Q&As as well. So please have your questions, and we will have some more time as well to take Q&A after the session. Okay, the question, I know the criteria was discussed, but is it a hard no for applicants with an MVP but are pre-revenue? That's a really good question. It's not a hard no, but you need to show to us that, there's something more for you than a business already generating revenue. So we did have a complaint on our previous cohort that was pre-revenue, but they were top of product owners and they were building a tech product. So that gave us a reason, and they had enough strong rationale for us to consider them for program. So it's not a strong no, but there needs to be something about your product or services that make you stand out, that help us see that actually you're building a business that's valuable. I hope that answered your question. Okay, so these are very specific, and I'll try and answer them as much as possible. I have a consulting business as part of a marketing funnel. I've started a podcast. When applying for this, if I want to grow both, what would be the best to apply under? That's a difficult question for me to answer for you without knowing like what stage of those two businesses are. There will be an email about F100 later, so we could dig into that if you ask that question specifically. There is a company with revenue less than 5K still eligible? I think I've answered that already. It's more around we will consider it, but you need to show us a strong reason why we should consider it. What are the three biggest reasons why people fail to be accepted? Really, really good question. Smart question, actually. What are the biggest reasons? You'll be surprised. Some applications are lazy. What I mean by that, so one of the things we ask for is to be able to showcase why is this business viable, and you need to be able to answer that question. Not using AI. Don't worry, I use AI to answer those. Like literally in your own words, what are you building, and who's paying for it, and why are they paying for it? That's a really important question. So trying to answer that question as clearly as possible. Your pitch deck is something that we looked at as well. Again, spending a bit of time on that as part of the application process, and the video as well. Try to get your personality across. There's nothing about your business better than anyone else. So actually tell us why this business is building. Why you're building this business, and actually the journey that you're going on. So take us on that journey with you. And this is me speaking freely here as well. Black Equity is set up to support Black businesses. We're not trying to catch anyone out. So we're trying to see actually if we come on board with you, can we help you get to the next stage? That next stage could be the 15K funding could help you. actually it could be these, making sure you're able to partner with Sky or other corporate suppliers that we know, or potentially the investor that you're pitching to on the demo day. I'm going to pause there and take one and come back to our panel, and then we'll come back to our final Q&A session. Thank you guys for so many questions. Again, there'll be opportunity for you to email us with more questions afterwards, if you like as well. Coming back to and trying to wrap up our panel discussion actually. And Alison, I could see you on my screen, so I'll start with you as well with my final question. I guess my question is, since completed the program, and it's two-sided, has your business evolved, and what part has F100 played in you involving your business?
Okay, so going back to the OKRs, so because we implemented them during the program, we managed to achieve some key milestones and deliverables in Q4 of last year, rolling into Q1 of this year. Now, because we're primarily a seasonal brand and we focus a lot on Christmas period is where we make the most of our money. So we have to be very strategic in terms of how we spend our cash on getting the new designs, new products for wholesale and for our website. And so breaking our OKRs down into real measurable steps that are easily achievable will now bring about overall growth throughout the rest of the year, because we typically do everything sort of 9 to 12 months in advance of Christmas. So now we've got this whole OKR formula in place. It helps us to be more strategic. We consider things in a timely fashion. So what do we need to do now in Q1? What can wait until Q2? Where is our focus on Q3? And so the OKRs has really played a big part in that to allow us to have focus, to look at different areas that we can pivot in our business. So in our downtime, where we look at key events like International Women's Week, Black History Month, our pop-ups at Christmas time. So it's just basically provided us with a great roadmap for the whole year.
Thank you for sharing that, Alison. Same question to you, Naya. Again, two-sided. How has your business evolved since completing the program? And then what part has F100 played in your business evolving? Naya, please.
It's really difficult to pinpoint because there's been so many things, like so many things. Like I think the pitching at the end was really great for me. It was at my first ever pitch. So I think just coming out and being able to work towards standing in front of a huge audience and explaining, and me actually re-understanding my own brand, I think that was really, really pivotal for me. Again, to echo what Alison said about the OKR, sorry guys, it's like the OKR season. But that again has really, really been amazing for me. Like when I started on the course, I was like just a solo founder, and going through all the sessions, I realized that like I need help and I need some, some assistance. And I never really wanted to let any part of my business go. But I'm literally today, I'm sending over a contract because I found someone to come on board as a CTO. The lawyer that's helping me is somebody that my mentor from F100 has helped me find. Just the group, everybody like that I was on the course with, where everyone's still in touch. All of that stuff is just really, really, really helpful. So the course is great. The money is like exceptionally great because it's allowed me to have runway. But literally everything on the course has just had a profound effect in so many different ways. So it's hard to pinpoint. So I'd say the pitch, the cash, and the OKRs.
Thank you, Naya. I think you had a good summary of everything
Thank
there.
you.
Great. And then Samson, same question for you around as your business evolved since taking part in F100, and what part has F100 played in that?
Yes, thank you, Leke. Yeah, so the business has definitely evolved. I will have to say the OKR again. Truth is, it's been, having to, setting the exact task, exact goal, and the milestones and the actions that we have to take in actually hitting it, was really very good for us. And one of the things that we have is being able to achieve 6.5% growth in terms of our user base on a weekly basis. And we've been achieving that. I think as of when we ended the program, it was maybe 3,500 users, but as of today, we have over 12,000 users.
Wow.
And as of that time, the children had completed over 20,000 questions. But as of today, they've completed over 130,000 questions. So it's been massive growth. And I mean, the cash really helped to extend our runway. So I really want to thank F100 because
Oh, I think we might just have lost.
Like we understood it very well, and we've been using.
Thank you, Samson. I think we're losing you a little bit there, but I think I got the gist of.
Really?
Yes, yes. I think there's. Or is it just me? But I think there is a delay from your end. Thank you, Nai, for nodding. But that's fine, Samson. Now I got the gist of that. Just to summarize, you
All
find
right.
the program really beneficial. You've been able to track and scale in terms of like your user base and people completing quizzes on your platform, and the money's been really helpful as well. Thank you so much to all our alumni, and like really, like literally 30 seconds. What advice would you give to anyone that's thinking about applying? 30 seconds. Start
I'll
with you
jump
first.
in real quick. I
Go
mean,
ahead.
I think that the road of a business owner or an entrepreneur can be a lonely road, and you don't know what you don't know. But when you come into a group like the F100 group, the mentors that they have, the facilitators, you get to learn more. And the road now doesn't feel so lonely because you realize some of the things that you're struggling with or don't understand quite as well as you'd like to, it's all there in the room. So I think it's a great group to be a part of, not just for the money, for networking and learning.
Thank you, Alison. Samson, great. 30 seconds.
Yeah, so it's more like same thing because I feel like, also you meet founders. Colleagues who are amazing. You get to bond and share knowledge, then I think you should not miss the workshops. All the workshops are amazing. Some you have to come physically. I think I made everything, both the virtual and the physical ones. They were all great. I feel like they were just well thought out, so very practical, very hands-on, and these sessions with the mentors are just great, So I think the whole program is just well put together and it's very, very effective for founders. Yeah.
Thank you, Samson. And then lastly, Nai, please.
My advice would be if you apply and you don't get it, apply again. Because the first year I applied, I actually didn't get onto the course, but I didn't give up. I prevailed. And every single time you're doing a session, have your camera on, show up. It don't matter how tired you are, just get stuck in because this is like a once in a lifetime opportunity. You only get one rodeo, and I'm telling you, you will get everything from it, but you're only going to get from as long as you put in. So you have to show up for yourself. That's my advice.
Thank you so much, guys. A virtual thank you to our alumni for joining us on the panel. And believe it or not, we're not paying them to do this, and this is just their experience of the program. Don't worry, guys. I'll sneak in the £1,000 extra later. I joke. But thank you for your time, guys. So I'm going to go back and hopefully try and answer some more questions about the program. Essentially, I hope we've answered most of your questions. But if I don't pick up your questions as part of this Q&A, you can literally email us anytime, f100@blackequityorg.com. One thing I want to mention, so I don't forget as well, is because we have so many interests in this Q&A, the deadline was meant to be Monday the 14th. And the team were like, we need to make sure people have more time. So we've actually extended the deadline now to Monday the 28th of April. So that means you have an extra 2 weeks to get your application in. So you definitely do not have any excuse. I know there's been a lot of questions around, or do I qualify or do I not qualify? What I would say to people is actually let us make that decision for you. So apply anyway. What have you got to lose, right? Is what I would say. But we do have those criteria in place. Great. I'm going to try and take some more questions. And then if you would prefer to ask that question in person, just raise up your hand and I'll take that and I'll unmute you. But because of our time as well, if people need to drop off, feel free to drop off. I'm happy to stay on a little bit longer and try and take as many questions as possible. But we're going to try and wrap up in the next 5 minutes. Okay, so let me go back to this Q&A. So the first question I could see is, I run a film distribution company that wants to implement rights, royalties, and global distribution software for independent creatives. I've managed to sell our initial catalog, but we want to use the program to develop our platform. Would that be eligible for the F100 program at this stage? Again, I'll probably need a bit more specific questions to understand your business a little bit more. I guess my direct question would be, are you generating revenue? Because again, and that's one of the criteria of the business, right? But feel free to email us f100@blackequityorg.com, and I could be a bit more specific to your question. Are there any resources you know of to help us with creating a suitable pitch deck? That's a really good question. What I'll do, we've got most people's email. I'll follow up tomorrow with some stuff around that, actually, if that's okay with people. I know you mentioned the funding is purely for business earning above 5K. do you offer mentorship or have any recommendation for mentor, recommendation for new startup business? This is a really good question. My simple answer is not as part of F100, but internally, this is a question that we're exploring. How do we support people a bit early on? I don't have a direct answer yet, but just be mindful that this is something that we're thinking about as a team. How do we support people that might not qualify for the program? Thank you. How many people applied last year? Robert is really asking the hard questions. He's trying to get the tips. Typically, we have over 100 people apply, and we accept 15 people per program. And we have a pot of funding, so everyone is actually, and that pot of funding is enough for the 15 people of the program. So you're not in competition with each other as well. What is the minimum revenue we need to generate? 5K is the minimum revenue, or if you're not generating 5K, you have what we call like a letter of intent from two potential suppliers or two corporates, and you generated 1K in investment. Every questions around criteria. If you go on the F100 page, my team will share that now. You'll have there's an FAQ section at the bottom of the page, criteria, so you can look at what the criteria are. If that's still unclear, feel free to email us and we'll pick that up as well. Do all 15 applicants selected receive the 15K funding? The plan is that, to be transparent, last year we gave full 15K to 14 out of 15 and 5K to one of the business. And the reason around that is we wanted to see some more traction from them. And to be transparent, they were one of the business not generating revenue. So we're working with them closely over the next few weeks, over the next 3 months, I should say, actually, to see whether they've shown those traction already. Thank you, Dorrit. Program dates. Great question, Valerie. So the program kicks off on Monday, the 16th of June, and is a 10 weeks program, hybrid. Sessions tend to take place on Tuesdays and Thursday evening for the workshop. We do have the in-person session as well. Others will walk you through those during the interview process. And then we have what we call a demo day, which is Sky HQ, and that will be on Wednesday, the 4th of September. Thank you, Valerie. I'm trying to make sure. How do we prove the revenue we've created? Yeah, question. How do we prove the revenue we've created? So it's part of the interview process. We'll ask you around that. And yeah. Another question. Can I ask a question to speak? Yes, sure. Please. That's by Parklins. We'll take 2 more questions after this. Parklins, if you could raise your hand, and then the team will try and unmute you, and then you have the stage to speak. Thank you. So there should be an option to raise your hand on. Are you there? Okay. It looks like that might not work. I'll take one more question. Oh, great.
I think I can speak.
Perfect.
Oh, hi, Nikki.
Hi.
My question is, I have a product. It's a product that we've built, like we've built the mobile app for Play Store and App Store, and is live on stores. And we have a freemium model that leads to a paid subscription. So we have a subscription, we have a paid subscription part of the app, or we have a freemium model that leads up to that point. Is the product eligible to come on? If we currently have over like 100 users, but that are using the freemium product, and it is like a phase, it's a journey that takes them from freemium to premium. So we're building like a motherhood companion app that supports women from the pregnancy stage up until the baby tracking stage and beyond till the first year of the baby's birth. And so we're using a freemium model to onboard mothers into like a funnel or go-to-market strategy funnel loop. And
yeah.
But that's for that kind of business. If we're not, since it's freemium, will it be eligible to apply?
Thank you, Parklins, and great question. Thank you for explaining what you're building. It sounds amazing, by the way. What I'll say, based on the little information you give me earlier, we mentioned MVP, so that tells me you've got a minimum viable product there, and you're telling me that you've got 100 users as well. That means that's something that people care enough to be using. So what we would then ask you to demonstrate as part of the application process is your road to revenue and what that would look like, and then the team would assess whether you're you could get on the program. I'll definitely say still apply.
Thank you, Nikki.
Thank you. Okay. We are overran. We've overrun. Again, I'm gonna try and my team hopefully will forgive me for this. I'm gonna try and finish at 6:50. But if you do need to jump off, do jump off at any point. I know a lot of people still have questions, so I'm gonna try and make sure I take those questions. But we will be done by 6:50 p.m. But like I said, if you do need to jump off, do jump off. Application closes on Monday, the 28th of April. So you have a whole 2 weeks to apply. If you have any questions from us, email us at f100@blackequityhub.com. I'm also on LinkedIn, by the way. So if that's easier for you, just drop me a message on LinkedIn as well. Name Leke Shodade, just message me. Please let me know that you were part of this Q&A, because then I will accept. Otherwise, I tend to ignore people on LinkedIn. The question, we are a fintech startup that offers services. How do you get a letter of intent considering we are operating a B2C model? Again, it's hard for me I don't know the details of your business, but what I'll say is then you don't necessarily need a letter of intent, but you still need to demonstrate to us that there's a route to paid users. One of the other criteria is if you don't have revenue, we want you to show to us that you've raised some investment. So if you're a fintech business, again, we've set the bar really low, 1,000 investments. I'll imagine that that's something that you could have raised through like a family and friends round. Does the funding need to be sales or can be, sorry, let me read this properly. Does the funding need to be sales or can be grant funding? Yeah, good question. As mentioned, so there's two sides to this thing, and I think a lot of people have asked this question. Just to clarify, you're either generating 5K in the previous financial year, which finished April 5th of this year, so just 5K, it's quite a low round, quite low revenue generating, or you have raised 1K funding from family and friends, and then as part of that as well, there is traction. One of the ways that we measure that traction, if you're bidding B2B, is letter of intent. If you're bidding B2C, is to show us like how many users you have on your platform and the road to those users paying for your product. How do we prove funding from family and friends? So again, this is a really good question. So as part of the application process, you just let us know and that you've raised a funding, and hopefully during that conversations, we'll figure, the team will figure that out. We haven't had to do this where we've asked people to show us their time sheet because we understand this is very early. Is the simple answer to your question. Thank you. Great. I think that is the last question. I've been able to answer the question. Honestly, thank you so much, guys, for taking time out of your busy schedule on a Wednesday evening after work for most people to join us on this call. Really, really appreciate it. This is my second year leading the F100 Growth Fund. The program has been going now for around 4 years. So this is our fourth cohort. What I'll say is, as the founder said, the program is fantastic. Black Equity as an organization really care about the Black community and want to make sure that we're giving the Black community tools and funding to help you scale your business. Our partner skies are great as well, especially if you think about the current economic climate. So you have a partner that care, a corporate partner that care, an organization that's set up to advance Black people and skilled people, hopefully like myself, that have experience in this space, that wants to take you from A to B. And one thing that we're trying to do is create an environment with some of our alumni that you've seen on this call, that you could be around like-minded founders and hopefully start to grow and network and build businesses together as well. I would love to see all your applications. I know we're quite strict on the criteria, but what I'll say, if you're not sure, apply anyway. If you have any questions, email us, and I'll be happy to jump on the call with people as well to help you get over the line. Thank you so much, guys. That is it from me. I'm gonna use my team now to let me know if I missed anything. I'll just give them like 30 seconds to flag anything, and then if not, we'll wrap up there.
All good.
Thank you, guys. Amazing. Have a good rest of the evening, everyone, and hopefully see your application. Remember, deadline is 28th of April. And thank you to our alumni again for joining the call. Bye, everyone.